Hey, everybody. So it keeps getting worse and worse for Candace Owens, and I want to show specifically why. Most of her fans and most people out there are going to watch through most of this video and have a major problem with it. And I would totally understand why. However, there's a part at the end of the video, go from the 17-minute, 30-second mark and watch onward, that completely and totally proves Candace Owens was 100% actually in the wrong as to what she did. And before I explain that, guys, because it's going to be mind-blowing, just give me a chance. I'm only going to show that part so that way you guys can understand it, okay? Please give me a like and a subscribe if you think I've done a good job. I genuinely appreciate that so much, guys. Thank you all so much for being here. Even if you're a Candace fan and you don't like me, you like Candace and all that, thank you for at least clicking on the video and checking this out. I just hope that you make it all the way to the end. That way we can have a good understanding. Maybe I can change your mind. If not, we'll try again later, maybe. I don't know. Anyway, guys, thank you all so much for being here. Let's go ahead and we're going to jump right on into this. This is why she was fired. Yes, normally I would disagree if it's like, oh, well, I fired my employee because they have different opinions than me. That's what most of this like 18-minute video kind of is. And at first I was like, this isn't looking good until I finally got to this part and I was like, oh, he really should have said this in the beginning. The reason why he didn't is because this was an internal video that wasn't actually supposed to be leaked. This was leaked by Steven Crowder, by the way. So this was an internal video, and people had the inside knowledge that are all sitting there. They understood why this was a bad thing, that he says right here at the end. So he could have actually, if he wouldn't have had this context in here, I really would have been against Daily Wire completely on this. And it's wild. But check this out. This is just the final nail in the coffin for Candace.
On our team. She's not pursuing the future that we're pursuing. She's not appealing to the audience we're appealing to. She does not hold the values that we hold to. I gave her every benefit of the doubt. I gave her far more benefit of the doubt than I should have, and I'm done. Candace has violated the terms of her contract in myriad ways. She has a contractual obligation not to tarnish our brand, but she has. She has a contractual obligation not to do anything that a reasonable person might construe as anti-Semitic or to align her brand with anti-Semites, but she has. And by the way, it was her attorney who suggested that we put that clause in her contract in the first place after the Kanye mess. It wasn't our idea.
It says an outrage. He says it wasn't our idea. What the heck? Why did it say it was an outrage? He said it wasn't our idea. It was her attorney's idea to put it in there. Now, if her attorney comes out and says, hey, it wasn't my idea to put it in there, it was yours, that'll be a little something, but it actually won't bother me at all. I don't care. Because there was a major event that took place when Candace went on to when Candace Owens went on to Timcast. And she said this.
They've given this to all of us, and your job then, if you're a
I'm sorry, guys. That was way too loud. Way too loud. I boosted that audio a lot because that audio on X was quiet.
big boy, right? If you can put on your big boy pants, is to go to your lawyer and to say, I'm not doing that. This makes no sense. Negotiate. Now.
Oh, really, Candace? This was her defending the Daily Wire, saying to Steven Crowder, if you're a big boy, you put your big boy pants on and you negotiate. I'm not doing this, I'm not doing that. Looks like Candace will only do what she feels will make her the most amount of money. Even if that means violating her contract. Even if that means throwing her friends under the bus. It's pretty self-evident. So she's going over here. And she's telling Steven Crowder, well, if you had a problem with Daily Wire's contracts, you should have negotiated, not done this, not this. Well, Candace, why didn't you? And my favorite part after that is when she actually admits, see, it's 15 minutes, 40 seconds. This is 14 minutes, 15 seconds. So just a little over a minute, she then admits Steven Crowder did negotiate with Daily Wire.
What happened in those 4 months after they started negotiating?
God dang, I need to really turn that volume down. I'm sorry.
I guess Steven Crowder woke up, new year, new me. I hate the Daily Wire, so I'm going to go after them. He thinks it's so egregious. The first thing he does is counteroffer and say, let's start talking about 140 million. Okay. So if it was so outrageous, why did he go back to them and say, no, actually, we can have this conversation, but let's start talking about 140 million, right?
Isn't it crazy that she said that? Because here's the funny thing about what Candace said. She's like, how about you put on your big boy pants and negotiate? This was just a term sheet. This is the whole context. It was a term sheet. It wasn't a contract. So you could have negotiated that out. And then he goes, okay, negotiated. She says he negotiated. And then they said, hey, it's actually a contract. Non-negotiable. They parted ways. There was no negotiating because they never gave a counteroffer at all. So as far as I'm concerned, the term sheet was the only thing he was allowed to agree to. Now that would give Candace some credence. If she couldn't negotiate in that contract at all, then I don't blame her at all for getting fired from Daily Wire. It would be Daily Wire's fault. However, she's going to have to walk back the Timcast episode. And if she could have negotiated, and she's telling the truth here on the Timcast episode, then Daily Wire is not at fault for firing Candace Owens. It would be Candace Owens' fault. So which one was it, Candace? Were you lying then, or are you lying now? It's really that simple. Were you lying then, or are you lying now? I wonder. Or maybe she'll come out and she'll say, okay, well, I did lie about why I was fired from the Daily Wire. It's because I violated my contract, that my attorney put a clause in there that I said I would not do this, and then I went ahead and did this, and then I made it seem like it was them just being bought by Israel. Well, no, it's not them necessarily being bought by Israel. It's that they had a specific audience that they catered to where they believed a certain thing at their place of business, that we are a pro-Israel business. I don't care if they're a pro-Israel business or not. People can be pro-Israel if they want. I criticize Ben Shapiro for being Israel first because he lives in America, right? He should be America first, Israel second, in my opinion there. I think that's absolutely how it should be because you are a United States citizen living in the United States. If you wanted to be Israel first, I think you should probably be living in Israel. Okay? I understand the religious implications. I understand everything about that. That's not something that I have a problem with. The problem that I do have, though, is people who are not willing to live over in that country, but still wanting to put that country first. It's like, okay, so you're going to live on our soil. You are going to live on our resources, but you're not going to put us first. It's not a very good feeling. That's kind of like working at a McDonald's and then putting some other fast food place first every time. You're wearing like a Burger King uniform while you're working at a McDonald's or something like that. It's like, I don't think you can do that. You know, don't think you should be doing that. Probably not a good idea. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, people are free to do what they want in America. There's also that. Just like people can be pro-Palestine. I don't care. What I do care about is when other people try to make it my freaking problem. Okay? I'm trying to live my life here, raise my kids, do the right things by them. And then I have other people coming up going, well, have you heard about the kids in Gaza? And I'm like, I don't know. Have you heard about the kids in Yemen? Have you heard about the kids in Balochistan? The biggest open-air prison in the world, led by Pakistan? You know what I mean? Have you heard about the kids in the Uyghur Muslim concentration camp? It's like, I don't know. I don't think you guys care that much about genocides. My opinion, I don't think the pro-Palestinian people care that much. Because if they did, they would absolutely be protesting all these other countries that are committing genocides. What about the worst of the worst prison of them all? The entire state of North Korea. I don't know. That sucks. Guess people don't care that much. But anyway, tell me what you guys think about this firing, though, down in the comment section below. I think Candace really stuck her foot in it. I think that's the ultimate, ultimate, well, not the ultimate lie, but that is very, very, very telling as to what really happened to Daily Wire. She violated her contract. She didn't have to sign that contract. But she did have to get that money, didn't she? That's kind of my whole point. Thank you all again, and I'll see you guys here in the next one. Later.